if we look at the world over the last 50 years, and we've done some work with BCG on this, the world itself has gotten about 6 times more complex. Right? There's an enormous amount of complexity that's been brought into the world. And that complexity is both, it can be geopolitical complexity, it can be technological complexity, it's a lot of complexity. But complicatedness, which means how do we process that complexity and drive actual processes and drive actual practices, has grown 35 times in the last 50 years. So 6 times more complex, 35 times more complicated. And that's because when complexity comes in, if you leave it to governments to manage that complexity, they're going to do it through policies and practices, and they're going to do it through regulation. But there's a huge amount you can do in smart regulation that allows and actually unleashes growth and unleashes potential and makes, for instance, if you could actually take down just the compliance and regulatory parts of banks by 10 to 20% in terms of operating costs, which is very achievable with technology, that unleashes $25 to $50 billion more in income for every bank, for banks around the world, which if they then took that capital and deployed it into the markets, could be like $500 billion to $1 trillion of incremental capital deployed in the world.